You are now tuned in to the CT Live Show with DJ Casanova and Teddy Lee, bringing you the best interviews and conversations with independent business owners and music artists.
Welcome to CT Live Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Casanova, and my man, Cold Fresh Teddy Lee.
What up, though? What up?
Today we got the pleasure of Austin. Let's see how I won't even say Austin staple, Austin killer MC.
Austin royalty.
Austin royalty, definitely that. A killer MC.
Yep.
Mr. Mirage 512. What's going on, my man?
I'm Gucci. What's happening?
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to have you, man.
It's a pleasure, bro. It's a pleasure.
Very honored to be here with you gentlemen. Two gentlemen I consider to be my OGs, my mentors, my big homies.
I appreciate that.
We're definitely going to dig deep tonight. We're going to dig deep tonight because pretty much I want to take it back before you even really touch the mic publicly. I want to know what put you in the frame of mind that you wanted to be an MC, and when did that little spark hit you?
Well, I originally started writing poetry. I wasn't really good at math in school. I was really more like English reading. I like to read books because I was an only child, and that was kind of my way to, escape, my surroundings, if you will. So I used to read a whole lot, and then my mother would always take me to the library. So I read books by a lot of different authors when I was kind of a young child, because like I said, I was by myself. Now I started writing poetry, and then they became kind of really simple R&B songs that I would kind of sing to myself. And then it progressed to hip hop. So that's kind of how.
Let me find out you're an undercover singer too.
Yeah, we never got him on a track singing, man.
Hold up, that's gonna be a problem. I've been thinking about actually trying to do like some little harmonizing, but nah.
Well, you know what? You bring up the only child syndrome. I was the only child, and I read a whole lot, but my thing was tinkering with stuff. So I guess that's why I got into the production and the DJ side.
Yeah. And back then we had to be creative. I was the only child up until 13, and my baby brother came. So music and having little concerts and stuff in my house, and I was I was really big into the Minneapolis sound. So I was just tall enough because I had this dresser that was like so tall. So I would open up the top drawer, and I would take like those cardboard hanger joints we used to have with you used to have the jeans on. I would take that, break that in half, go get a gang of my mom's foil. On the top of my microphone, I put that in the top drawer of my dresser. Get out my tennis racket. Play concert in my room.
All right.
Imagination.
So who was like your first, I should say, when did you first start rapping? Were you solo or were you with a group?
Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, BJ Dollars.
Yeah.
We grew up.
Yeah.
We grew up 2 streets apart. So when we were to kind of put, in the Austin context, we were right there on 2-3 on Main and Loyola. But we would get bused over to near North Cross Mall to Reed Elementary.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Intermediary. And so on the whole way home, BJ Dollars was actually just kind of like, we were playing the dozens, but it wasn't really about mamas, but he was kind of like rhyming and talking about people.
Okay.
And so he gave everybody a little bit, but then he just like honed in on me. Like, I guess I was having a bad fashion day or something, but he got on me with about 8-9 bars. I laughed and chuckled and went along with it, but it was a Friday evening. And I went home, I had the tape deck, the one that had like the little microphone like that on it. You hit the 2 buttons on it. And I just went home and just started just speaking into it and just kept saying shit until it rhymed. It's just saying shit until it rhymed. And then that's how I kind of taught myself to rhyme. And I
Yeah.
came up with about, I couldn't even count how many bars, but I just wanted to rap as long as I could. And I came back that Monday and I got back at him. You know
All
what I'm
right, all
saying? And
right.
that started,
That
it
and
started with
that birthed
battling
that
yeah.
that battle MC in you, huh?
Yeah, because I mean that was the whole thing. It was usually like a couple of dudes that were like that. They would beatbox and then somebody would rap and then somebody would
Uh-huh.
say, "Oh, they rapping over there," and then it would become it was just always a challenge,
All
always
right,
a
all right.
challenge.
I'll say this, man, because I normally try to ask this question to everybody.
Mhm.
And you kind of answered one or at least half of that question. So there's always a hip hop artist um, that we look at that was either on TV or we heard them on record or whatever, or we saw a video of them that made you really want to do this rap thing. So, like for me personally, it's the first time I heard Rakim. I was like,
Oh,
oh man, that's what I want to do.
man. Well,
Who was it for you?
it was kind of twofold for me. When I first saw Run from Run DMC, Run in particular,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of relates because I've always liked two-man crews. Like I loved Run DMC, and then the next really kind of like two-man crew, even though it was four of them, was Tribe Called Quest, and then
Okay.
it went to Outkast, and now these last 10 years I've been riding with Killer Mike. But in any
Okay.
case, when I saw Run, and it was just kind of like his power and his personality, and he seemed to kind of really be like the leader of Run DMC.
Yeah,
Now,
people.
on a personal level, just like you, Teddy, Rakim was my guy too. Like that, it really became really personal. I was actually listening, and I've read a good part of Rakim's audio book. I mean, I read a good part of his book. I didn't finish it, but I've been listening to his audio book.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about when he first went to record with Marley Marl, and he was like,
Uh,
you kind of lazy with it, man. You real laid back with it. You need to kind of like put some more energy in.
yeah,
He's like, nah, I'm laid back. Like I want to do it like this. He said that he did it like that because he wanted to make it intimate and make sure that you were listening to what he was
what you're
saying as
saying.
opposed to how
Absolutely.
he was saying it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that really kind of translated to me because I was never really like that hyper MC. And then I never really put a whole bunch of words in a phrases. It was always really, really sparse phrases, but it
Blocked up,
was
yeah.
it was a lot said in those few words. It's kind of like I always took a Miles Davis approach. I call it Miles Davis approach to hip hop. Miles, if you talk to a lot of jazz heads,
Scattered
Miles
out.
didn't play. Yeah, he spread out his notes and he
Yeah.
played really beautiful notes. Coltrane was that way too. He didn't play a whole lot, but he would play really big notes. And so Rakim and Run were two of my first great
And
influences.
I can understand where you're coming from because man, I can hear that in your music where it's like when your lyrics are spread out,
Mhm.
A, they're a lot clearer, and
Yes,
B, it almost forces you to listen
To
to
what you're
what
saying.
someone is saying, what they're actually
exactly.
saying, you know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Which is
Yeah.
good. And that actually leads me to the second half of that question is um you know there's always one MC to me that I say that's at my level that at least my time
Mhm.
that made me say, "Oh man, I got to be better than this." And for me, that person that I saw was Papa Chuck. I remember when I first
Mhm.
got to Austin,
Mhm.
and I was going to Reagan High School. It was a Friday after the pepper rally, like everything, and everybody get together, huddle up, and they either rhyming or they doing something like that. And that's the first time I heard Chuck. And Chuck was so amazing that I didn't even spit that Friday. I was like, oh no, I'm not ready
Wow.
for this. I am not, and I had to take it to the house for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then
Word.
I got up the nerve to do it. And after that, I was good. So who was that MC that you heard around the way that made you want to say, man, no, I'm gonna be greater?
Well, you and Chuck were really on a level. Mine was a couple of years ahead of me. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember a dude named Chill Master Will?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Wow, I
see,
hadn't heard that name in a long time.
I
yeah,
know, I know.
yeah. Chill Master was always really like kind of sophisticated to me, if you will. And see, I grew up like literally two houses up from Pat Love, DJ Pat Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, who used to go by Def Daddy Scratch.
That's
I'll
right,
throw all this
scratch.
stuff
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
I was there when he really started, like literally when he was putting speakers up and we were breakdancing in his driveway type stuff. So Chill Master used to come over, and I forgot what he went by, but it was a dude named Chris Harper used to come by. They all went to LBJ, like they were all kind of like LBJ Titans. And then my dude Al Ski. And those were all guys that I had like, contact with, face-to-face contact with, because Chill would be over there with Pat Love, and Pat Love was his DJ. So I'd be over there in the window, like literally watching them. It was almost like out of a movie, like watching them rhyme, like, oh, like, wow. And he was going to LBJ when I was getting ready to go to Keeling. So
So they were
he
ahead of
was
you.
kind of tangible, but he was still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He was like within
Yeah.
reach, but it was like that grasp.
Yeah.
You just outside the
Like
grasp.
exactly, like getting with BJ Dollars that one day, but then one of my second milestones as a really young MC at 11, 12 was going over and sharing some of my rhymes with Chill Will and Chris Harper and Pat Love, and then being like, oh, that's dope. Like first couple of times I went over there, it was like, man, take your ass back up the street, man. You know,
Not ready for this.
and then I kept going at it and kept going at it. And I used to have about 5 of them memorized. And then I spit one at them and they was like, okay, hey, little dude got something here. You know what I'm saying? So that really kind of prepped me up to, going and keep doing what I was doing.
All right. All right.
All right. All right. Let's move on up throughout the
That's a
years
good
then.
question. I've never been asked that question before.
But just before we change subjects, you said Run. Run, a lot of people slept on Run. Run his wordplay and his cadence is very distinctive.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to some of the stuff he was saying now, his wordplay.
I was just about to say that.
His wordplay
like for the
slipped
first
by you.
About 20, 30 years of it was just his style and pure power. But then when I really went back and kind of studied like the old school and started to catch some of the document, I was like, he was really actually saying some stuff. And then have you seen the new documentary?
Yeah.
And he was talking about how on Sucker MCs, that was exactly what was happening. He was like, man, we really did get picked up in the Cadillac and all.
Yep, Larry picked him up in the
It was almost like he was freestyling.
So am I wrong now? Over the years, I always thought that that DMC wrote all the rhymes for Run DMC.
No. Run was the
Run
main. Run was supposed to be solo.
Run
was supposed to be solo, but D was his boy. And he's like, yo, when I'm getting ready to make a record, you gonna get on it. And he was in the studio and he called him and dragged and said, yo, you still got them rhymes you wrote? Come on down here. And Run, that's why D's on the last half of Sucker MCs. Run said, I'm just going there, do my thing. When I stop, you just come in.
Yep.
Because Russell didn't like DMC. Russell didn't like D.
Was exactly what was going on. He really was going to John Jay University and you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff was going on for real in his life.
So Run put D on because that was his homeboy.
I just
gotta watch
knew
the documentary.
DMC wrote him.
I'm a big documentary head.
Yeah.
I love documentaries. I would rather watch documentaries than regular TV.
All right, so let's step up the years a little bit. When did you meet T-Dub? How did you two connect?
Me and T went to Keelan together.
Okay.
And
so
T was a year ahead of me.
Okay. So when he was doing what, Dope Medley? You were just kind of watching him at the time, or you had your own group going on?
Yeah, I was still really in the hood with it. And me and BJ Dollars, we had a show down at KZI in the teen scene when it was still right down Loyola and Loyola Business Park. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was doing with that. But I met him at Keelan, but we really didn't start butting heads on music until we were in high school.
Okay.
He was going to McCallum and I was going to LBJ, but he was always coming over to see Dollars. And like I say, Dollars was 2 streets over, so we was kind of meeting that way.
Okay.
And then once we really started deciding to do music was when I was in college at Prairie View. I had come
Okay,
home my
that much
sophomore
later? Wow. I thought it was earlier than that. All right.
year.
Right? That's what it
Yeah,
is.
we met at Keating. Then my sophomore year at Prairie View in '95, I came home and I said, T, I want to do a single. And he said, well, let's just actually do a label. And I was like, because I was going to try to put it out on his label.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, man, if you're going to college to learn all this shit, man, why don't you just learn that? And then I'm going to learn this down here. Well, you know, what we can do here and kind of operate here in the city. And when you come back, we can operate in both Houston and Austin. I was like, there it is.
There it is.
See,
Okay,
that's when people that's when they work together, man. You know,
Yeah.
I missed that because I could
what
have
made the
swore
dream
you
come
guys.
alive.
I could have swore you guys were like partners from early. I didn't know you were that far up into college before you got
Yeah, we
put
didn't
on.
start working together till '95.
All right, all right. Well, it seemed like y'all worked real good together. It was, you know, when they place certain people in your path, I guess that was the right path right there. Because
Very much so.
you took it and ran with it just like he did. So, and you started building your own
Yeah.
image and your name. So, give me some feedback as far as that first single that that you dropped on was Good Vibe, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, give
really,
me
we
some.
dropped it. We dropped it as a single. That was kind of those were 2 songs that we worked on like in the studio. Well, not even really a studio. I actually made a documentary about it, but we used DJ Crash's ASR 10 to make the beat, and we met a guy who had a studio that was in the back of a car lot.
Okay.
And we went and we recorded both of those songs, and we put his on one side of the tape, and we put mine on the other side. Then he went to the Gavin conference. You remember the Gavin magazine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Went to the Gavin conference in San Diego, and he was freestyling, of course, because you know T, wherever he go, he gonna freestyle. So he was freestyling, and he met this guy named Matt Kaheen, who was part of, or he was one of the owners of Good Vibe. And so what he explained to us, what he was trying to do was, he said, we're trying to get acts from all different parts of the country, which one of those acts was Slum Village out of Detroit, kind of like one of part of their Midwest thing. They said, we want you guys in Texas, and they wanted a bunch of East Coast cats. So I was like, that make a whole lot of sense. He said, but the thing about it is, we actually can own our masters and keep our publishing. I was like, oh. Because see, me being down in Prairie View, you remember in 94, 95, 96, getting on the internet actually cost you money.
Oh yeah,
right?
that slow dial up.
Yeah, and you could hear almost like a hamster wheel type shit. So I ended up getting free access being at Prairie View, and I had access to print it. So what I did was I found a couple of websites that had all of this information about music publishing, management, just everything you want to know about the music industry at that time, minus the book. So I took and printed 3 of them because it was me, our guy Slim, who was kind of our connection to the streets, if you will, because I figured that was something that we really needed to have in T. So I made the what we would call the Bible for all 3 of us, and we would just sit there and we read some every night, just come back and talk about it. Like, yo, I was reading so and so about publishing last night, and so we was like, if we do anything, we need publishing, and we need to own our masters, and we were on that like from the beginning, from the gate. That's what we've been on it ever since we came in, and that's what we got with Good.
That was a good move. Did you go on that tour with them or?
Nah, man, that was actually kind of that hurt my heart for a couple of years, man. I was a little mad about that, and I was telling T, because I came at him from this perspective. I said, listen, man, I ain't even really worried about the money because I had just started working at Dell, so I had a little bit of money, but I'm like, man, you out there by yourself, bro. Like, all them niggas from California. I mean, and maybe they had good intentions and nothing happened, you know, as we look back on it, but I'm like, man, you out there by yourself, bro. You need at least 1 or 2 of us. I mean, I wasn't trying to come and take over. I just wanted to kind of have your back, but like, man, I'm a guest. I can't bring guests. And I was
at least
like,
it worked out. You
I
know,
wasn't
so
really
that
gonna
was
try
good.
to pay my own way, but you know.
Well, you know what?
And that's That's man, you just don't, you being so let me ask you this. So back that 94, 95, how old were you back then?
20, 21 maybe.
And see, and that's amazing, man, for you to be up on game at age 20, 21, to even
Yeah.
be thinking about, owning your own masters and publishing and all that. Cause I gotta be honest, I'm older than you, and heck, in 95, it really wasn't crossing my mind. I was still out there having fun,
But again, I
I
was
had
in
the
a very unique
mindset.
position though. I had access to information, and that was the
Right,
only
right.
difference. If I didn't have access to it, if I never went to college like that, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have known that. So
Yeah.
I got lucky. You know what I'm saying? I give praise to the Most High for that.
Right.
And
Well,
I actually graduated too.
what it is, that's a good thing. We're gonna come back with that, but we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, well, when we go to break, we're gonna play one of your songs so the people can get the vibe with you, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk some more stuff. So be right back.
Time to pay them bills, y'all.
We evolution what I'm on now. Till we get our own now. Something we can own now. Yeah. And I'm pushing toward the line finish. But I'm never pushing blind with it. Gonna change your mind with it. See, enemies are energy. Just fuel to feed the effort to refine and make a better me. I keep the goals lofty. I keep these vultures off me. Preserve the culture like formaldehyde and tread softly. Yeah, hustle Trump talent. If talent don't hustle, I'm getting back on my feet, but still in the struggle. The mode is survival. Eliminate the rivals. Make them respect the title and then become an idol. See, I'm just balancing, doing the right things for the long term. This ain't no overnight thing. I'm staying true to I, them words to live by. They try to clip your wings if you flying too high, but you gon' get my best or nothing at all. Stash some money, call it padding if I ever fall. Born alone and I'ma die the same way. Most don't believe, so I'ma walk this way. I'm thinking like a leader, not a boss. Life keep providing these bridges for me to cross, but I maintain balance. I'm up for the challenge. I come in peace, yet they still speak with malice. You gotta have a why, or it'll pass you by. Ain't got a reason to live without a reason to die. I work in silence, let results do the screaming. Understand something, I do my damn thing. Watching with my eyes closed, vision 20 squared. Ain't no need to panic if your ass stay prepared. I'm speaking personal, but hopefully it translate. Looking out the window make me just wanna hibernate. Not one to procrastinate, I'm one to build a platform so solid, so ill, quite trill. My folks never got love here. I elevate way above here. Plus I'm so sincere, so sincere. Listen, the struggle real. So is the wind. Get stronger, come back again. The great.
We're back,
Back.
y'all. How y'all doing, man?
Ooh, that song was blazing. That song was fire.
It was fire. Again, man, one thing about Mirage, man, I mean, he's different, bro. And that's what I've always loved about him and T Double, man. They just different, man. And
Follow your
they
own
just got
path.
that vibe.
Yeah,
Speaking of
like
vibes, man.
we come from that era. Everybody got to be different. We couldn't sound like just like y'all couldn't sound like. We all had to pick a lane.
Yeah.
Yes,
Pick your
The
own
sir.
whole
sound.
thing is to sound
That
alike.
that's back when hip hop was original, man. People were actually trying to be
What he
different.
said.
It's not like the stuff you hear today, man, where it's like, you could turn here and everything sound the same. The music, the cadence, the flow, the sound,
Yep.
just and they talking about the same stuff. It's
Yep.
It's just a different era, man. I'm not gonna say it's worse. I'm just saying it's a different
It's
era.
different, very different.
My argument is, me and somebody was having a conversation. It's like if all three of us at a bar having a drink, we're standing by the bar just holding conversation, DJ's playing and stuff. 10 songs could go by, and we in our conversation we won't realize that those songs that everything's changed because it all sounds the same. Whereas
Right.
the stuff we like, you like, oh yo, that's my shit right there. You tell when stuff
Like you said, in
changes.
the same conversation, we can be sitting there and not noticing that the songs have changed. But when it does change, and let's say an EPMD track come on, or a Public Enemy track come on, or something like that, instantly we know that track is on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it was different. Everyone is different.
Yep.
Back in my time frame, 80s, 90s, it was just completely different, man.
Yep.
Even early 2000s, it just
Yep.
I can't knock them. They're making money. They're doing what they're doing, but I just like the purity.
For real.
I like that. That's why J. Cole stands out. Kendrick stands out. Yeah, they're still with the new stuff, but their choice of music, their flow patterns is different. But all right, back to you, my man. All right, you got about 8, 9 albums, maybe more under your belt. Is there a particular song that you would call one of your favorites out of all the stuff you've done, all the different people you've worked with? Is there anything that you say, yo, this is my creme de la creme? This is it.
Well, I guess in 3 different arenas, I would say, like, I have one of those songs in 3 different arenas.
All right, break it down.
My personal favorite to perform
Uh-huh.
is a song called "It Don't Stop."
Okay.
And it's a song that I did with my comrade DJ Mr. Korea, Crowd Diggy, RIP. You know what I'm saying? That just it still kind of makes people react. Like I got a show next week, you know what I'm saying, from whenever we perform. I'm gonna do that song, and that's gonna be one of those ones that I try to keep in my repertoire until it doesn't make sense to.
Right.
Then I will probably say that the song of mine that I promoted and kind of presented the best, and that people know me for the most or react to even now, even though it's about 7 or 8 years old, is a song I did called Bonafide.
Okay.
And then probably my personal favorite is just like one that I just like to listen to, just like my personal favorite to myself. Wow. I don't even know if I should have brought that one up.
Now, let me ask you.
I might put myself into a quandary here.
but I'm gonna let you slide. Well, you don't even have to rack your brain. But I know every artist
you
has
got
that
so
one,
many of them, man.
Got that. But there's always that one thing that stands out. It's like I don't know what I was on when I wrote this or when I recorded this, but this one just has me. But
and see, I got a lot of them that I listen back to, and I kind of be like, because there was a period from about like 2009 to about 2015-ish or so, where it was just rapid fire, and that was really around the time that I started deciding to record at home. I got in a home recording, so it started. And then I got more comfortable, and I was just one taking it because I was just recording so much. And then I started making beats, and I started getting more into that. And then it's like I make about 11 beats, and then I keep maybe like 2 of them, or I make 20 beats and I rap over one of them, just the best of them. And then, like you say, so I have like more than half of them were throwaways. Like I admit it, but I was practicing and learning because I got into that kind of late in the game. I was really more into just rhyming, but then I started kind of getting some cojones and some pride about me. Like I was appreciating like the beats that guys were giving me, but I was kind of like, I don't want to have to depend on guys, especially since I'm recording at home now. So let me go ahead and learn that part of it. And so I just literally, it was like a trial by fire. I just locked myself in that room for like a whole weekend, just wasn't eating. I was probably stinking, and I had all my effects with these, and you know what I'm saying, not sleeping in that muffin, and and just really learned what to do and how to do it, and did it.
No.
So with all this material that you have, is it still available out there? Like if somebody wanted to catch up on you, like they see this and they're like, hey, I want to hear some of his stuff, some of his old stuff. Is it still available out there on some platforms?
Well, I have the majority of it. I want to say that here pretty soon there's only one that I haven't really released digitally yet, and that's Bonafide. And I had a lot of those on CDs, but most of those digital files are with Arson. So I kind of have to get with him in concert with him on that. But the majority of my catalog is pretty much available somewhere online.
Okay.
I really
YouTube it?
started making albums in 2014 because I felt like that the format was dead, because I really saw that the attention span was getting smaller.
Right.
Because I mean, even when I would get albums, I would really kind of pick out my 5 or 6 best songs that I like just off of like the first 20 seconds and make mix CDs to ride with, because even my attention span was getting shorter.
Right.
Because songs were becoming they were becoming formulaic, like, oh, we got the club song, and then we got the introspective song, and then we got, this song, and they were all becoming and then we got the weed song, and then, it's like, okay, so let me just kind of pick the best of it. And so I stopped making albums. I just started making singles. And in 2015 and 2014, I had my 12 shot campaign. I said, I'm gonna release a song every month, and I'm gonna do a video for the majority of. Maybe I can't do a video for every song, but I'm gonna do a video for as many of those songs as I can, and I would just release a different song every month, and just promote that song for that month, almost like I would produce, like promote an album. And that was actually pretty fun. Like I'm thinking about kind of bringing that back.
Here's a thought I had, man. All the artists, including us, we need to do our websites and sell physical product, because the streaming stuff, you're not making any money. We need to come back, because there's still a market for vinyl. There's still a market for CDs. Even if you do USB drives, we need to start selling physical stuff along with the merch. And we're going to get into your merch in a second. But far as to be able to really see and know how much you're moving, or people still want stuff they can physically touch.
Yes.
Real talk, Cass, you bring that up, and when we recorded that first podcast with Dank, and I had made mention that we did there was a rap competition in Houston that I went to be a judge.
Yeah.
And Dank was there. She was a judge also. But I literally took like 25 or 30 USB drives with me that had the album on there. Right. And I think I only sold like 4 or 5 of them is what I did. And I just sold them like real quick because I actually had them there to pass them out. I didn't try to sell them or anything. I was just trying to network with them. But I mean, heck, I sold one for like $7, $8. I sold one for $10. Just little small stuff like that. But like you said, I mean, people don't have a problem with it, man. Especially when you're out and about, you can sell those because all you gotta do is take them to the crib, flip them in the computer, and put them on your phone or whatever you listen to. But you still had to drive. So yeah, man, you can still sell that stuff. I'm convinced you can.
There's a lot of people that want physical stuff.
No music,
and I think
platform or nothing.
As artists, we should try to bring that back at least to our core audience. It's not for everybody, but our core audience that follows you individually, or the people you deal with individually. There's that market.
When I first moved up here to Dallas, I really started to kind of put those wheels in motion. And what I would like to do, and Nook actually, and I told him, I said, man, you're doing like everything that I exactly had thought about. But I really think that we have to kind of start like start presenting ourselves as like the legacy artists that we are.
Or
Even though a lot of people might not know the legacy, we still have to present it like that.
yeah,
Because if we never tell the history, you just never know. Like people's like, well, man, how you gonna tell your own history? Like, who the hell else is gonna do
don't
that?
tell it.
Right.
Now that you
So what
brought
I
that
was
up,
thinking is
yeah,
that,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna put a bunch of content, like you said, Ted, on flash drive and really make that a signature flash drive. Like I wanted to get a wood casing for mine and
Mhm.
actually kind of get like some writing on the wood casing to
Right.
do that.
Make that your
And
album
I
with
want to have pretty much, yeah, with all of the albums,
your
the
liner notes
videos,
inside, everything that's missing
yeah, like really
from
put
12
like, yeah,
inches
the
in
album
CD,
like that.
the liner notes, who
Yeah,
produced the what, everything where
a
people used to like to
t-shirt,
read that stuff.
a hat, stickers, like swag. Like if you take the time to actually buy my physical thing, well, then I'm gonna give you the presentation because
Yeah,
that's what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
trying
Right.
to give you. See what I'm saying? I
Right.
even want to include a little, like almost maybe a little booklet to
Mhm.
where people can sit down and read about it, or if they didn't read about it, we can at least talk about it or do a video to where they could get it that way. Because like I say, I love books, but me being an educator, to tell you the truth, I do so much reading that I kind of don't want to do anything cerebral or academic. Like I come home and do the stupidest shit because I'm doing professional and educated and logical
Uh-huh.
stuff all day, you know
All
what I'm
day.
saying, with other educators and with kids. And, I'm kind of thinking and so when I come home, I don't think. So I listen to audiobooks a whole
Before,
lot. Or I ride
bef-
around and listen to interviews almost as much as I listen to, music.
Before we go too far off the subject, you touched on it a little bit. The Austin Library, the Hip Hop Honors for the 50th that held a few months ago. What was your
Mhm.
opinion on that, and what could have been done better, or what would you like to see come out of that?
Well, I think that we need to make it more of something to
Every
not
year,
only achieve it,
by
it definitely needs to be yearly. I made 3 suggestions. I think they should have made a compilation that they put in all of the libraries in Austin
uh-huh,
where they can include at least maybe one song. I don't
from
know
every
how clean or dirty they want it or whatever, but like for every class, like we were the 2023 class,
uh-huh,
for every class, they should do some type of recording, or even if
right.
it's new recordings, if they got new material, they should put that out and put
Be
that in
something
all
in
the
it.
libraries. I think they should
Yeah,
do a mural. I
that would
said
be
they need to go
nice.
to East Austin and pick a building and do a mural, and that mural should stand for 365 days. And then on the next year that y'all present, black
Next
that joint
person.
out and put the next ones up. Let that stand for a year. And then black that out. Let that, because like that shit, you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Because I
Well,
was just, for instance, like last week, I was down in Deep Ellum, right around where we was at, Cass, when you
yeah,
came out here and I shot
yeah,
that video. I was at Eric's birthday party down there at the factory.
uh-huh,
And all of those murals they got for all of their local legends and them
yeah.
Erica and Skyline and all. I'm like, man, we can't get none of that in Austin, but we got one. But
Yes, yeah.
yeah, I don't want to get in that subject because I'm a look disrespectful and salty, but I just really felt like there were some people that they could have put up there that
And it's,
that that own it.
you know what? I felt it was a good step. I was
Yeah,
surprised when I got the call. I was very honored. So I made sure
yeah,
I flew in for it, but it was a really good step to see that people thought about you in
absolutely.
that way. And I hope they do it every
I was
year.
very honored.
I hope
Yeah,
they
I
do it
was
every
very
year.
honored.
And I hope people take the time to show why they should be nominated to be in
Yeah,
there. Because I
You
heard a lot of
know,
complaints also, but not
I
every
did
and
too.
any and everybody can be the first. But you have to also say, hey, this is my legacy. This is what I've done, and show that you deserve to be
Mhm.
on that list.
Yeah.
You know?
but see
And I
that
mean,
that
we
that's
actually talked to, yeah, go ahead. I'm
that's
sorry.
that's the thing, Cass. It's like a lot of people will look at it, and since that was the first one, a lot of people have the attitude like, man, they should have put me in, or man, they should have did this, or man, they should have did that,
Mhm.
which it's the very first one. It's a step in the right direction. You got to understand, before this, nobody had done it.
See?
So you can't include everybody in this first one.
Yep.
So like Mirage did, he gave suggestions. That's the way it should be. Okay, you saw how the first one went. Let's get some suggestions on how we should do the second one. Instead of getting on these social media platforms that I saw these cats attacking some of the artists that was nominated and appreciated on screen, they steadily talking about, oh man, there's some other people that deserved it more than them.
And see, here's the thing: 40% of them people don't even know that we actually suggested them.
That's how it goes. But
like a lot of those names were actually brought up, and there were closed
exactly
because
they didn't just pick them out the blue.
You heard,
and you know what? Don't even bring up names.
Them boys from KZI. Them boys from KZI. You know what I'm saying? They was like, man, Mirage called us, and like I made sure they got in there. I'm trying to get Magic Video on there for sure. I caught him. He called Quince out in Atlanta.
There's a lot of.
You know what I'm saying? I called a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're and again, like you said, it's the first one. And here's the thing: it's probably gonna get better.
It should.
Sure
it should
get better.
It's a learning process.
Like in 5 years, we're gonna be like, damn, they did that for y'all.
And I'd love to. And honestly, I'd love to be there to be able to present the award to somebody else.
I'm trying to go every year.
I'm trying to go every year. You took what we did and took it to the next level. Congratulations.
And that's exactly how it should be.
Exactly.
All right, we won't dwell on that too much. You said you were an educator, so
we're an educator. Oh, but you know what, Kaz? Before you get into that, I do gotta ask Mirage. So, is there an MC locally from your time here at the ATX that you wish you had an opportunity to get on a track with?
What should I get on a track with but didn't?
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, RIP is Bully. Really, I want to get with a lot from the league, especially Reggie Kobe. I think me and Reggie really, and we still can work. It's not like we can't, but Bully. Because see, the first people that I met out of the league were Dred Scott. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Bully. And Bully was always like, he was just kind of like real, like not respectful, like, but he was just a real solid guy. And like, we had kind of like a couple of personal conversations, and he was just like, man, you know, I kind of watched you and T and, you know, Vu and all of y'all niggas and like, he was real, you know what I'm saying? Just genuine, man. Like that one kind of hit me when he passed, just like my guy, Prop Diggy. But yeah, I wish I could have done some stuff with Bully, and I still want to do some stuff with most of the guys in the league.
Okay.
Well,
that's solid. That's solid.
All right. So you're an educator.
Yes,
what do you do? What do you do for the people that don't know? I know, but inform the people that don't know you all except for music.
Yeah, I teach math. I teach 6th grade math in Dallas, Texas.
Hats off to you. That's worse than being an MC in a crowded show and everybody looking at you.
You know, like we talked about off camera, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have any biological children of my own, and I don't plan on having any biological children. So I kind of call it my rent to the universe. And I mean, you know, the thing about it is, for me trying to do my MC thing and my rap thing still, I get about the equivalent of 3-4 months off a year. See?
Okay. Yeah.
I get paid all year, so I go off for 2 months and supplement my income and still come back. And it's a great way to, you know, keep your health benefits.
Right.
It's a pretty, you know, solid profession. The retirement is decent. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it like that, and they have, you know, you have other incentives. Now, the reason that I'm at a 6th grade level is, like we said, 7th and 8th grade gets kind of crazy. But if you know how to go in and establish discipline and order, which any of y'all are good parents and people out there that are good parents, teaching is really not that bad. And math is one of those things to where it's really straightforward. There's only one correct answer. Because originally I started teaching history.
Okay.
And I'm coming at it from my KRS-One, my ex-clan. We're
Yeah,
going
that's dangerous
real.
in a school. That's dangerous in a school
Yeah,
sometimes.
this Negro is radical, yes. So I started in North Dallas, like over near SMU, teaching history for 2 years, and then they was like, send that Negro to the South Side. So they sent me to Oak Cliff, and I love it over here, man, because my background and my experience really allows me to I can still kind of relate to what's going on in these streets.
All
Even though
right.
I'm not in these streets, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not a fool to it. I'm like, and I know where all of that started.
And then
Because
your
the dude
students know that you
I'm
rap?
looking up is my peers. Like, your daddy and uncle them is my age. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all granddaddies is my age, man. Like, stop, man. Y'all doing what we did. Y'all wearing the same Jordans, same haircut, and really same attitude, to tell you the truth. The attitude is really, it's the same. It's the same way we was feeling like F the police and we was the wrong ends to F with NWA and all of that. It's the same way these little dudes do it. They just doing it a little
different,
aimlessly
yeah.
sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no umph about it. Like, they were kind of fighting and doing that for a purpose.
Right,
And you
right.
can see how a Public Enemy and an NWA could mix, where like people from the outside be like, how are they cool? You'd be like, man, that's really the same thing. It's the same spirit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah,
And if the kids know you rap that you teach?
they find me every year, man. I don't know if my phone emanates, but they find me every year on social media. Every year
All
they find me, and they know
right.
how to, go and this account, like, and I'm like, oh, see, because they all got these names that mention the hood or
Mm-hmm.
DTX or Lil. I'm like, oh, see, yeah. And then I'll find something like, oh, gotta block them. So yeah, they find me on social media, which then gives them the name, which then they go and search, and then they like, you know what I'm saying? Or,
You a
yeah,
MC?
they find me every year.
My teacher's cool. He raps.
Yes, yes. And that's why I keep it tame in my videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah,
really,
it affects. Yeah, yeah.
keeps
It
you,
rolls down.
yeah, you have to stay grounded. Yeah, you have to use discretion is the word.
Okay, so you're a killer MC. You're educated. You're a teacher, and you're a businessman because your
Yes, sir.
merchandise 78723 Mirage the Great. I wear the shirt that you gave blessed me with, and people like
Yes, sir.
78723. What's that? Austin, Texas, baby. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I said, look
Hold
up the
up,
zip
man.
code.
Where my shirt, man? All I need is a 2XL, man.
Hey, man. I'm gonna send you when we get off of here. You got my email. I'm gonna send you a couple of the shirts, and let me tell you the story behind it. I've always dabbled with merchandise and shirts. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw what it was, and I saw a bunch of underground movements that did it. So when I moved up here to Dallas, of course, I plugged in with a lot of Austinites that did the same thing. And we all kind of started talking about how gentrified Austin is becoming.
Yeah,
We're
Right.
like, man, like, really, when I go back home, the only people that I visit in Austin proper is my family, like my parents, like people that have been there for 20 and 30 and 50 years.
Right.
As it stands now, everybody lives outside of Austin.
yep,
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a saying up here, like, you can actually live an hour from Dallas and be in Dallas. You see what I'm saying? Depending
yeah,
on which part you got to go to, like,
uh-huh,
it's huge.
Right.
And we had these big metropolitan, and Austin is becoming that. So most of us are living in Pflugerville and Round Rock and Elgin and Manor. And,
yeah,
we going into the southern suburbs and the Butte and all of that stuff because it's so hot, it's so expensive to live in Austin proper. So when I came up with 78723, literally worldwide, we're everywhere. We got folks in New York from 23. We got people that live in Houston and Dallas, all over Texas, and we kind of are worldwide. And then I kind of had this thing for the streets and all of those main veins that go on the back of the shirt, which is Manor, 51st, MLK, Cameron, like all the streets that border the hood.
Right.
And then my guy Arson, he kind of helped me co-design it. And then I put it in, and them things, they just started moving. So I made them in black and I made them in red, and then I expanded to 2.4. And I was gonna start trying to get into the east side ones, but it got a little murky because I started saving a little bit more of the business money because I wanted to buy a house instead of living in an apartment.
Right.
So I'm gonna actually relaunch it. The name of the brand proper is Aficionado Lifestyle
Aficionado.
Brand. Yeah. So Aficionado is it's a play on aficionado, which is like an official aficionado. It's like the ultimate aficionado.
Right.
And I feel like that's kind of what we are in different parts of the culture. You got cultural aficionados, you got gaming aficionados, you got hip hop aficionados like us, you got, street aficionados. So that's kind of where that's coming from. And when I first moved to Dallas, I really saw, because like these guys out here in Dallas really, rep a lot of Dallas stuff. Of course, Cowboys and Mavericks and the Rangers, since they just won. But if you live in Oak Cliff, you wearing Oak Cliff stuff. If you rock on the north side of, like you see that picture of DLC where he got W Dallas because he's from West Dallas.
Yeah.
They're really, so I'm like, we like that too. So I just started making Austin shirts, different things about Austin. And so that's been a good thing, but it's kind of limiting being out here. It's kind of,
Yeah.
Because if I go to shows, I can't really go and sell out my Austin shit because we in Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas,
Right.
yeah.
So I had to start making, kind of more universal shirts, and that's kind of what I'm gonna get into with my relaunch.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And Cash, my our t-shirt guy. So
Yeah. A lot of good work. Actually, I'm wearing one of his now. The Three Amigos.
Yeah. I saw him at the Large Professor show last week, man. He's doing good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got to give out all your socials so we know how and they know how to reach you. So if they're interested in hearing some of the stuff you've done before, or if they want to purchase some of your merchandise, give me all your socials so that way people know how to reach you.
Okay. On the Instagram, it's Mirage the Great, and that's GR8, not the word great. It's Mirage the Great. I know this is backwards, but Mirage the Great _ at Instagram. On Facebook, Mirage the Great Music. On any of your streaming platforms, if you search Mirage the Great or Mirage 512, is another thing that I was going with before I moved out of Austin. And then you'll go down this rabbit hole of all of this music I got, group projects, and that's where I am.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say before we cut this out?
Yeah, man. To both of you gentlemen, and I've told you both individually, you know what I'm saying, and I've told you in the public to your faces, but I kind of want to put it here, record it, and document it, that I honor and I respect and I thank you guys for what you did for Austin hip hop, and in turn did for me and my personal development, being able to see and kind of, converse and really and watch it happen, and then, add to it, and then have it kind of recycle back around is really a great experience for me. So I just want to thank y'all. And again, I'm honored to be on your podcast, and I thank you for allowing me to present my movement to the masses.
Hey, we got to all take care of each other.
You are so welcome, man. You again, you're a gifted artist, but even more than that, man, I consider you a friend, which, I don't consider a whole bunch of people friends in the business. We come and go and we may speak, but then after that, it's like we don't even know each other,
Right.
But no, you've always been one of them real ones, you and your old partner T Devil. So
Yeah.
I'm privileged to have you on the show with us, man. This is the second taping. We had Dank first, we got you next, and we couldn't have had a better two recordings than what we chose to
I'm
do.
historic now. It's legendary, man. I'm on the ground floor right now with this, man.
On the ground floor,
pulling
it off.
Hey, you can when it's all said and done, you're gonna be one of the top 5 dead or alive CT podcast joints. You know what I'm saying? So
your
you can
mouth
say
to
you
God's
top 5.
ears, man. Let's go.
Hey, make sure every stage you touch, every mic you touch, You leave it smoking. Make sure no one else wants to come behind you. Make them work for what they got to
Absolutely.
do.
That's the whole point.
How they say, make them earn it. If you want to touch this mic or come on the stage after me, you got to show and prove that you deserved it. You know,
To this day.
That's how we've always done. I wish that we had did more songs with people, but back then we were friends with everybody, but it was still competition. It was still competition. Yeah. So we didn't say, yo, come get on this song with us. Yeah, we friends, but it was still a competition because we want to make sure when we hit that stage, we tear it down. But now, as we got older, now it's like, yeah, we could have done, and we should have done. But this is the other way of giving flowers to people that we admire and people that we respect.
Yeah, that's the ultimate.
Never too late.
That's the ultimate respect.
And I want to say thank you very much, my friend.
I'm gonna say this, man. When you relaunch the merchandise,
let us
know. Please let us know, because we want to get you back on the show and show some of the product and give people a way to contact you, because I'm sure by that time there may be a website or somewhere.
The website. That's something I should have mentioned too. I already got the website, and you can go look at some of the merch. And you can go.
Give us that. Give us that.
That before we get out of here.
It is Theo Vibe, TheoVybe .bigcartel.com. TheoVibe.bigcartel.com. Or if you search Aficionado, Oficiando, Aficionado, you can find all my stuff there. But again, I got emails from both of you gentlemen and Ted. Like, really, I'm gonna send you some stuff, and Cass, I'm gonna probably send you some stuff too.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna reach out to you, man, also, and get you some of these podcast shirts we got going on, man.
Yeah. Do you have one on, Ted?
This is one of the entertainment shirts right here. Let me stand up a little bit.
Lost you.
You lost you.
Oh, we lost. Hold up here. There we go. Oh, I see. I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do it right now.
But I can kind of raise it up like that.
Oh, okay. I saw the little.
That's one of the entertainment spots. But I'll make sure you get something from the podcast, which is probably gonna be something like this, what you see back here with me and Kaz.
Yeah, I'm gonna support
that's our glamour shot photos right there. Don't look nothing like us when we was young. Look like that's our glamour shot right there.
Hey, that's the recreation. That's that good AI, man. And I'm telling you, by next year, y'all need to be intertwined with South by too.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been to South by.
We came up with this concept, man, and we was just like, it just happened to be that we started this late in the year, so it was too late to try to get on. But hopefully with your recording and the ones that we got coming up, that we can get some people interested in it, and like I say, we may do some type of some CT podcast showcase or something like that, and definitely, we're gonna concentrate on the old heads. We're gonna have the old heads come down and show these youngsters how we do it.
I call it age-appropriate hip-hop, man.
There we go.
There you go.
As we go out the door, give me one last statement.
One last statement. Hip-hop ain't dead. It's a culture. And as long as cats like us are still alive, there'll still be hip-hop, and there'll still be something that you're going to have to respect out here in this world. Let's go.
And that said,
let's go.
Thank you very much. CT Live Podcast, Cass and Ted. Thank you, Mirage the Great.